Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to Change is Near. Today is episode 34 of April the 7th of the year 2022. And it only took 33 episodes and basically, 37 days, something like that, 38 days. That I received my first threat last night through email. So I don't know if it was a joke or that, but if the person making the threat is listening on this episode, it was not funny, to be honest. If it was a joke and if it's real, well, what can I tell you? I just don't feel it in my heart to stop about this very important subject. Today's episode is about the electric universe and planet Nibiru. Again, I'm going to expand from the episode of the Anunnaki and planet Nibiru, but again, this is the type of episodes I'm doing just to keep things interesting. My main concern or my main objective is to talk about spiritual episodes and how you can discover yourself, but apparently I think that's also one thing they don't want me to do, because you see, if you discover yourself, the game is up. The game is over, actually. It's like when Pac-Man, I don't know if any of you remember Pac-Man from the 80s, at the end, so it ends for them. It ends, the game is over when humanity discovers itself, who they are, who we are, where do we come from, that we're really 1 million times more that they had made us believe through the grooming and through the whole thing of, I already spoke about that, the whole process of just implanting things in our brain. So I changed the disclaimer a little bit. So it's in the screen. It's going to be in the screen on every episode. And again, all the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. None of it should be taken as medical or legal advice. I expanded the fair use notice. So in my understanding, I'm using fair use of images and videos, and I provide links to the videos as credit. And I'm not profiting at all from all this. So in any way, even if it's fair use, if you are the owner of the content, you can email me at changesnear@protonmail.com. And I will take down the episode. I will remove it from the platforms and redo the episode without your content as a new episode. And my personal and spiritual disclaimer to you is, if this does not resonate with you, take it as entertainment. Don't take it by, the rule of law. And if it's not even funny, like yesterday's thread was not funny to me, then please stop. I don't want to be an energetic vampire to you, so you are not forced to watch me, so just stop watching. If it resonates with you, that's great. That's the whole objective. If it's entertainment, that's great as well. If it's neither of those, then stop watching, because the intention is not to make you worry or make you think that your religions, there's something wrong with that. That's not the point at all. I'm not interested in that at all. I'm not interested in being right or claiming that I have the truth or anything like that. All right. So today's episode, the electric universe. Wow, what a beautiful picture. Yes, the universe is electric. That's the whole point. It's full of love. Love is electricity. Love is energy. And that's what powers what is called free energy, which is all around the universe. It's free, it's unlimited, it's abundant, and it's based on the concept of the electric universe. We, for some reason, on Earth are obsessed with the chemical part of things. So we always use, for example, chemistry to create energy. We use chemistry in medicine. Most of your medicine, not all, is through chemistry, through pills, through procedures that are based on chemistry. And there's ways to improve your health through energy, actually. For example, Dr. Rife, R-I-F-E, from Germany, which he passed away a long time ago. He invented this stuff in the 30s, 40s. He had a machine that actually, through resonance of diseases, by using the same frequency that diseases vibrate on, there are two frequencies together. They cannot exist. One on the other has to go. So the disease is taken away through the resonance of their own frequency. It's killed, whatever. It's a parasite, a bacteria, a virus, whatever. So I used a lot of footage from richplanet.net on this episode. I give them credit by linking to all 3 videos I used from them. It's Richard D. Hall and Andrew Johnson. I consider them, especially Andrew Johnson, one of the brighter persons in the planet. They are right up there with Harold Casvella, and Richard D. Hall is also very bright, but he's more like the host, and but he when he has Andrew Johnson on his episodes, it's really an episode you should see, because he's really smart, really bright, and it's the kind of bright that I respect and appreciate, not like Albert Einstein would use his intelligence for the detriment of humanity and just to help himself and have a name in history. So maybe when Andrew Johnson lives this experience, he's not going to be remembered by many, but he's extremely bright and much better than many people you might think on books are revered as, these creators of the whole reality we have right now. So we're going to look at the first video together, and then I'm going to give you my comments, all right?
Now I know that, when I spoke to Lloyd Pye, he said that he was a fan of the electric universe theory. So why would it be that your average astronomer or cosmologist or physicist even maybe would reject the idea of forces due to electric effects in the formation of the solar system and the universe? What's the contention over it? Why is it such a hot potato?
Well, I'm not quite sure overall, but again, we could imagine that it's something to do with the way that we might derive energy, right. Because if the solar system is more energetic in the sense of an electric field and so on, it may raise questions about various energetic processes that are going on in the solar system and having to have a different explanation for them. So that could be part of it. But I think it may in this case just be down to laziness. Right. In other words, if you realise that many of the fundamental sort of equations that have been worked out are actually, they're only approximations and they're not accurate enough, right. Then you're going to have to rewrite a lot of the textbooks, and you're going to have to let go of a lot of the original research and replace it with something else.
Right. All right, then, Andrew.
Okay, so that was Richard D. Hall and Andrew Johnson, and I'm going to also include the link to richplanet.net and the 3 videos in case you don't know richplanet.net. It's really very good site. It's an independent platform, if you want to call it, that Richard D. Hall has built. He has videos on many subjects, conspiracy theories, scientific subjects. He has very good guests on. So, I used to watch a lot of Rich Planet a few years ago. And again, as I said, I'm more concentrating on the spiritual side of things as of late. So, I haven't been watching very often lately, but that doesn't mean it's good. It's very, very good content. So, the electric universe. It's funny that he asks Andrew Johnson why there's such resistance to accept that the universe is electric, because Andrew Johnson responds that if that was the case, we would have to rewrite things to acknowledge free energy and the possibility that energy is unlimited, it's abundant, and it's by definition, it has to be free. So it will be similar to air, as Harold Katz-Vella says. And so you see, Andrew Johnson is very careful not to piss anyone off. Sorry about that. About saying maybe, but he knows about free energy, and he knows the universe is electric. It's based on the energy from God. Maybe I don't know. I've never seen them talk about spiritual subjects, but they know what the universe is all about. It's just they're very careful to kind of stay within the mainstream limits, so they are not attacked. You see. But in my opinion, the universe is certainly electric. That's the whole concept. And yes, of course, there's chemistry, but it's like a long second place to the electric part of us. We are electric beings, by the way, not much chemical beings. And whenever you have a disease, you're treated through chemistry, usually. I already spoke about that earlier. So in a nutshell, the universe, in my opinion, is certainly electric. It's full of this energy. It's based on love. It's based on the reverberation of love. So you are the creator of this energy also. If you're reverberating love and you're spitting out love from your heart chakra, you are helping out the universe in the creation of this energy. Okay, so that's that. Basically, unfortunately, only Nikola Tesla tapped into that, and his credibility was destroyed, and his life was basically destroyed after that. So it's going to take a lot in the future to start with this foundation that everything is electric, energy is free, okay, bye-bye oil companies, bye-bye solar, bye-bye hydro, bye-bye aeolic, wind, which aeolic is wind turbines, bye-bye everything. That's an inefficient and interference way of creating energy, because all of those energy creation systems interfere with nature. Okay, even if it's wind, you're interfering with the wind that is free flowing through Earth. If it's hydro, you're interfering with the flow of the water through a river or a dam or whatever. If it's solar, that energy from the sun is supposed to be for other things, supposed to be for biological beings and Mother Earth. It's not supposed to heat up, whatever, I forgot the name. Again, I don't prepare for the shows. Whatever is on the solar panels, it's heat up and it creates energy by that heating up. So by the electric energy from the sun. So all of those interfere. That energy from the sun was not supposed to heat up a solar panel. It was supposed to go into a flower, into a plant, into a human being, into a dog. Hope it makes sense. Into the ground. Hope it makes sense. So we're going to watch the next video. It's 4 short videos, and I'm going to give you my comments afterward. We're going to talk about comets and planet Nibiru and stuff like that. It's going to get interesting. You'll see.
But let's go on to look now at some of the craters on Earth that still exist from comets which have impacted, because this is another area that's been used to create fear, perhaps,
exactly,
in films like Deep Impact and things like that. So what's the likelihood that a disaster could occur?
Well, I mean, yeah, let's talk about that, because that's again one of the reasons why I put this presentation together, because every time we get a comet comes into the news, as was with Hale-Bopp and Comet Elenin that we've mentioned, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that later. Comet Elenin was in 2011. You go onto the internet and you'll get many websites saying, oh, the comet's going to crash into the Earth, it's the end, stock up with water, buy your water filters, buy this, buy that, buy your radiation suit, etc. And so that's comets are really good for generating fear, as you already said. So but it is true. But it is true in that if you go around the Earth, and I wasn't sure of this until recently, on the surface of the Earth have now been determined that there are 184 impact craters, and some of them are quite big. Some are several miles across.
Right.
I think the most famous one, which the first one I ever heard about when I was a kid, is Meteor Crater in Arizona, and that's got a tourist centre next to it, and it's about a mile across. It's 500 feet deep. I think it's 50,000 years old. I think it's relatively recent, and it has to be, because the surface of the Earth, it's still there, because obviously the surface of the Earth gets weathered, it gets eroded, the climate changes, and so on.
So these are all relatively young impact craters because they're still there?
Well, most of them are relatively young. I mean, again, the ages vary, but I think you can see the ones that are more weathered are the ones which are older, obviously, more eroded. So some of them are covered up, and the oldest one they found is in the Yucatan, which is the land has kind of moved over it and the land has reformed, and that's the one that was allegedly where the impact that wiped out the dinosaurs was, and that was, I think, 65 million years ago.
So it is possible that we could be hit by something which could affect life on Earth, then, you think?
Oh, absolutely, and in fact it's already happened. I mean, earlier this year, in February 2013, we had the impact over Chelyabinsk, or rather not an impact, it was an airburst over Chelyabinsk. That was a reasonable size object. Several thousand people were injured because of flying glass. Windows were blown in, and there was a factory wall fell down. So that was some quite significant damage, and it was across a relatively wide area. And the one which I put into this presentation when I was asked to give this was the Tunguska event, which happened in 1908, and they're still not quite sure what that was, but it was flattened an area of about 200 square miles of forest.
Well, some authors have suggested that was not natural.
Right, they've said, suggested various things: a nuclear bomb, Tesla's beam weapon, an exploding flying saucer or something.
Yeah. Well, and then you also mentioned in your presentation the alleged comet of 562 AD, which Alan Wilson is quite keen to talk about. Right,
and of course Alan would probably do a much better job of talking about that than I would. But the thing that intrigued me was the vitrified hill forts that I think you were going to go and film there, weren't you, at one time?
We were.
And I'm quite curious about that, because I came across a report from Italy of an impact in Italy, and that was dated also to about 500 AD or 560 AD.
Okay, so they're talking about the different impact craters, and Andrew Johnson talks about these videos, by the way, from probably 2014, 2013, because he talks about that event in Russia. That I remember it was, I think, February 2013. So that event already happened when this video was created. So these videos are around that time. So at that time, 184 craters were discovered on Earth. And yes, some of them are pretty large, a few miles wide. And a crash of that size will be what is called an extinction level event, because you see, it will create the kinetic force of the crash of the matter of the comet or the asteroid or whatever is piece of planet that crashes into the Earth, will immediately create a thermonuclear explosion that it will basically create a nuclear winter. The sun will, of course, it will be localized damage, okay, for hundreds of miles, okay, that will basically disappear. But the rest of the Earth will go into a nuclear winter. The sun will be covered for months, and so basically, without the sun, most of life on the planet Earth, biological life, will die. I mean, some could go on. I mean, some creatures or plants or something that don't require the sun, but most of it, and certainly humans, most of humans, will die. You will have to go underground and have some kind of stock of food and that. So this goes into prepping. I heard a lot about prepping for extinction level events. I don't agree. If there is a extinction level event on planet Earth, then that's that. You cannot do anything to stop it. Humans cannot do anything to stop it. Don't believe in movies that they send nuclear bombs and no. That's going to happen. That's intended to happen for some reason. However, the universe, remember, is so beautiful that it has balance. So that's why planets have orbits that go around suns and they don't crash into themselves, because it's the act of respect by the planet with non-interference among planets, and even gravitational pulls and forces are respected in a way that we don't go affecting other planets as we traverse the universe as a planet. So the universe is so beautiful even in that. So when there are these very rare events, there's something going on. I mean, and remember the laws of the universe. You mustn't interfere with anything, but you must accept all interference. You mustn't create any unbalanced act, but you must affect every unbalanced act that happened to you. And that's also for planet Earth. So planet Earth, a living being, Mother Earth is alive. She must accept everything. That, if a comet is coming, we must accept it. And the inhabitants of planet Earth are biological beings. Remember, as a spirit, you go on. Your physical existence here on Earth terminates, and you become a full 100% spirit going into your next experience, which might be physical and spirit, or only spirit. Those are the two possibilities, okay? I already spoke about that on several episodes, especially on yesterday's episode. So, one interesting point is about the Tunguska event, and I've researched that event, and I have a theory. Okay, it's not personal. I share a theory, let's say it like that. And my theory is what was mentioned by Richard D. Hall, by Andrew Johnson actually, that Tesla was involved. And yes, he, in my opinion, or what I resonate with, is Tesla was contracted to create a weapon, and unfortunately he agreed. I don't know why. It was, I think, Cosmic Ray or something like that, the name. And basically, this weapon used this energy that Tesla had tapped in. So by sharing this with you, you may say, so was Tesla a good guy or not? I don't know what was going on as a human. Remember from yesterday's episode, we're animal, we're human, we're spirit. So I don't know if he was in a bad place or why he agreed, but let me finish the story because it has a good point. So if Tesla was responsible for that Tunguska event, which explains it, because they say that event was a comet or a meteor. Where is the crater? There is no crater on that event. There is no crater. So what happened there? Exploded in the atmosphere, you see, and it created a nuclear explosion, which I don't buy that. That has not happened. Usually, yes, meteors can be dissolved by the atmosphere when they're really small. We're talking about 10 to 20 meters in diameter. But that doesn't create a thermonuclear explosion that devastates hundreds of kilometers of land. I mean, it will create some little problems like they had in Russia in 2013, but it's not going to create the Tunguska event. So if it was so large, how come the atmosphere was able to dissolve it and make it? So they say it exploded while it had a detonator inside. I mean, things that don't make any sense even by human rationalizing. Then they say it was a nuclear explosion, but we didn't have nuclear capabilities in 1908, so what was that? I think it was Tesla, unfortunately, testing his weapon. But when he realized the devastation, the story that I resonate with is he destroyed all the documents and all the materials of the weapon. He didn't want humanity to have this weapon. He would probably have destroyed the world. So they used it, for example, in World War II or World War I, because it was 1908 before World War I, which started in 1914. So he made the right choice, and he chose humanity, and he said, you know what, this is not something we should be messing with, and he destroyed that, and that's why we don't have a cosmic weapon. However, they did take part of Tesla's technology and then created what now is known as a DEW, or a direct energy weapon. And yeah, that's unfortunate. So that's subject for another topic, okay? So we're gonna go into the third video. I think it's the one they discuss the orbits of comets and how they are irregular and how that ties into Planet Nibiru, Planet X.
But what about the orbit of comets? Just describe how they're different to planets.
Yeah, well, planets have roughly circular orbits, or very close to circular orbits. Most of the planets do. Some of them are slightly less circular than others, but in the main, they're circular orbits. Comets, however, generally have an elliptical orbit, which is like an oval shape, and they tend to spend most of the time way out in the solar system. But then they come in. When they come into the solar system, they rapidly accelerate, and then they get they come around the sun, and they speed up.
So it will be kind of like this,
like a slingshot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's come around like that.
Exactly.
So there's a lot more forces are at play as it's going around the back of the sun and then back out again. So as you say, like a slingshot.
Yeah, you can get the slingshot effect.
Okay.
And the thing that's we'll probably mention once or twice as we go through this is perihelion, which is where the comet is closest to the sun. Perihelion, helion being the sun, and peri, I'm assuming, means closest or close approach.
Right. So there are various.
Okay, so that short video, the intention was just how they share that the orbits of comets are irregular, they are more elliptic than circular, and for example on that comet, that it went very close to the sun, and there's of course a gravitational force going on that it slingshots back to its irregular elliptical orbit. So that sounds a lot like the mainstream notion of Planet X, Planet Nibiru, that it has an irregular orbit that's why it's allowed to get so close to Earth. No, that's an unbalanced act. I don't think that planets are allowed to do that. Again, comets are sort of rogue objects in the universe. They're basically ice. So it's like they're basically made of ice. So it's matter just going through the universe. It's not a planet that is inhabited with beings and something like that, like apparently Planet Nibiru. So I don't think Planet Nibiru, by the laws of the universe, is allowed to do that. So, okay, is it a comet? Okay, that's one possibility. But I forgot to add on the episode on the Anunnaki and Planet Nibiru that the theory that resonates with me is that Planet Nibiru is a spaceship. Okay, so it's an incredibly large spaceship, and so as a spaceship, it goes wherever it wants. And of course, because they are a parasitic, opportunistic species, they get close to planets even if there's a huge gravitational pull, and they create destruction by doing that. But you see, if it serves their purpose, for example, stealing gold, so be it. I mean, they are not concerned with causing interference and causing unbalance to other planets, other civilizations. That's who they are. They are just lost souls. They are very back on their way through love. They are going on the way of hate, on fear. They envy us because they don't understand how we're capable of being benevolent. For them, everyone should be non-benevolent like them and in war with each other and that. And they operate, or they only vibrate in the anti-universe. They shadow copy here in the universe. Okay, so I just wanted to make that point because I didn't make it on the previous episode. That my theory is Planet X, Planet Nibiru might be a spaceship. It's either a planet that doesn't respect the laws of the universe and somehow, through the use of black goo or other way, has been able to have an orbit that favors them, or actually is controlled artificially. So that makes, even if it's a natural planet, if it's controlled artificially, if it violates the laws of the universe, it becomes basically a spaceship. Okay, so no, I don't buy the comet theory that much. That will make it mostly made of ice and stuff like that, and without the possibility of harrowing life. So no. If you believe in the Anunnaki, you cannot think of putting Planet Nibiru X as a comet. Okay, so let's watch the final video.
And they can work out the orbit.
Right. Well, I think that brings us nicely onto Planet X, or Nibiru, or any other name that you might want to call it. Just give us the background.
Yes, well, of course, Nibiru, this alleged, or one of the names, and actually discovered a new name recently. Hercolobus is another name for this. I hadn't come across that until recently, or Hercolobus or something.
A load of bollocks.
It sounds a bit like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Actually, yeah. So absolutely, so that the stories of Nibiru have come from various sources. The main one, to my understanding, being Zecharia Sitchin's books about called the Earth Chronicles series. He says that he's decoded the cylinder seals and the cuneiform tablets of the Sumerians, and they talk of a race of beings called the Anunnaki who came from Nibiru to the Earth, and they describe their home planet as a radiant planet, and various other characteristics about it. And they then said that this planet came close to the Earth and caused certain problems in the solar system, and then it moved. It's in a 3,600 year elliptical orbit.
Similar to a comet's orbit.
Yeah, if you look at the books, it's similar to a comet's orbit, an oval-shaped orbit rather than a circle, basically, an elliptical orbit.
Allegedly several times larger than Earth.
Yeah, I think I forget the exact size that the Nibiru is alleged to be according to Sitchin, but it's I think maybe a couple of times bigger than the Earth. That sort of size, at least Earth-sized, if not bigger. I forget the exact figures.
Now, if an object that size did come through an elliptical orbit, it would cause havoc with the Earth. The oceans would be jumping out onto the land, and the ice caps would be being pulled off, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
All kinds of things would be happening that wouldn't be very nice. Absolutely, and people, of course, we've seen, for example, various. We actually have seen an increase in the number of earthquakes. That is true. The earthquakes appear to have increased in frequency over the last 20 years. For some unknown reason. I don't know the reason for it, and I don't know if anybody else does. And we've had, similarly more extreme weather, which I think I know some of the reason for that. But of course, people wouldn't really want to talk about those reasons in the mainstream communities.
So just to get back to the alleged Planet X, the main sort of theory behind it comes from the Sumerian stone tablets.
I think it's where it originated.
But it's my understanding that if it does have a 3,600 year orbit, it's currently nowhere near Earth at the moment.
Right. I mean, Sitchin spoke about this, and I think he didn't exactly say where it was. He didn't claim to know where it was, because he wasn't sure when it was last near to the inner solar system, and it's very difficult to get information about that. So he didn't sort of say that it was going to be seen in the skies at any particular point. I must stress that. However, there are a number of other websites which I've mentioned in this presentation. For example, Zeta Talk is one, and then there's Marshall Masters' website, which is YOWUSA, and there's various other websites. There's another chap called John Moore. He's talked a lot about this alleged Planet X being inbound. It's on its way in.
But they're not basing any of this on any actual evidence, Andrew, are they?
Apparently not. I mean, I had somebody write to me claiming to have it. I said, well, if this Planet X is in the solar system or near the solar system anywhere, please can you send me a picture? And I got this picture of a green ball.
Right, and just to go back to the comet ISON discovery, if a Planet X is in our solar system and it's heading towards the Earth on a fairly elliptical orbit, we're going to see it maybe decades before it gets here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely we are. And that's what I argued with this person who sent me this picture. And he claimed that this planet was, I think, 29,000 miles in diameter, and it was only 14 million miles away, which is closer than Mars. So I worked out that, according to the figures that he gave me, that he said where it was, that it would be 40 times bigger in the sky than Mars is.
Right.
Now, you can't, obviously, with your naked eye, you can't resolve Mars as a disk. But if you would be able to if it was 40 times bigger. I mean, if you put it into a telescope with 40 times magnification, you'd be starting to resolve Mars as a disk.
Okay, so I wanted to just tell you that I follow a lot of people, and as I said, I haven't been watching richplanet.net recently, the last year or two, but this video I remember this series of 3 videos. Actually, the full length time is around 100 minutes, and I'm going to include the links to all 3. And if you have time, if you're interested in this subject, it's really going to be it's going to be something you're going to enjoy watching the full video, because they talk about a lot of things. I took out 4 clips of around 10 minutes total. That is the information of the subject we're talking today. What I wanted to say is something they mentioned about Planet Nibiru. That is going to be 40 times bigger in the sky, something like that. They didn't consider a possibility that Planet Nibiru just vibrates on a different wavelength of light. So if that's the case, it's invisible to the naked eye, and possibly also telescopes that go into X-ray, infrared, ultraviolet, and some other wavelengths of light. So if it's none of those and it's a different one, it's invisible. Like I talked about black holes on the episode Black Holes, things that we're not supposed to see at this time. So maybe the universe is protecting us from watching. If it's near, I don't know. If it's near, it's protecting us from, because just imagine there was this thing humongous on the sky. Half of the population will die of heart attacks, okay? So that's for starters. And then, it will really be apocalyptic here on Earth. So is Planet Nibiru near? I don't know. I got to the point, and I don't want this to sound strange, but it's something I don't control and you don't control. So if Planet Nibiru is going to come, and yes, if that's the case, it's going to create havoc here on Earth because of the gravitational pull. It's probably going to be a pole inversion, also going to flip. The North Pole is going to be in the physical south, and the South Pole is going to be in the physical north, and that on its own is going to affect our whole protection systems of our atmosphere, I mean radiation-wise, so there's going to be more radiation coming from the outside, and it's going to create a lot of problems. Sea currents is going to be humongous tides on the sea. So I don't want to be apocalyptic. I mean, all of that stuff, you can certainly go and look at it. And there are channels that they have made basically their audience, and they go, some of them, into the hundreds of thousands, just by selling this fear that Planet Nibiru is going to be here in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, and you need to prepare, and the prepping, and they sell you things to prepare. What good is that going to do with everything I just said? Not much. You just have to be prepared spiritually, so the moment that happens, you go as peaceful as possible, and you go into your next experience, because remember, you are eternal, okay? So really, I just wanted to clarify that they didn't consider the possibility that Planet Nibiru is vibrating on a different wavelength of light that is invisible to the naked eye. And I've seen some videos and pictures that show this huge orb in the sky at night, red, and is that Planet Nibiru? I don't know. Is that fake? Is that, a scam or a con? I don't know. But I've kind of refrained of worrying about things that are beyond my control, and I invite you to do the same. So if you're concerned about Planet Nibiru, you have prepared, that's great. I'm going to go into the most important slide of every show in a second, okay? If you are new to the channel, I include this slide from a few episodes ago, and I'm going to include it on every episode because I talk about these subjects. Yeah, they're interesting, but what I want to tell you is this is all about you. My mission is to be of assistance and try to be a beacon of love and guidance in this reality. It's very difficult. I don't want to play the victim, but it's very difficult because I feel that this reality is not prepared for that. That's what I'm finding out, but I'm trying. So the message, the most important message starts right now, is discover yourself. Very simple questions. Who am I? Where do I come from? You can do it through meditation or even just speak it out. You are not what you have been groomed and programmed to believe, okay? We're not just these beings here on this planet that we need to bow down to hierarchies and worship and, and play good, because if you don't play good, you go to hell, and if you play nice, then you go to heaven. No. I don't agree with that at all. Your best version is inside you, okay? Yes, you have everything you need for this reality, and all realities you're going to be involved with. It's already inside you since your inception, when you became a son of God. The Father, He gave you everything. He gave you wisdom, strength, love, everything inside you. But it was prepared to be given to you as you need it through your realities. You have an amazing strength, you have incredible wisdom, and you have a beautiful heart. Completely sure about that, all of you. Discovering yourself equals to breaking the matrix. Yes, that's what I think caused that threat I received yesterday, and that's why the message they don't want out. Discovering yourself equals to breaking the spell. The veil is lifted. Your eyes are open, not closed anymore. So now, and I'm using, it's a metaphor, okay? I'm not talking about your real eyes, which is just one of your 5 senses. Talking the dials of your soul are open. Now you see, now you understand. You understand you're not this little thing they want to make you think. You're incredibly strong. And so they are afraid of you discovering yourself. If you stay little like they want, they're not afraid of you. If you stay focused on your physical realm, they're not afraid of you. But when you discover yourself and that you know that you're going to go on forever, no matter what they do, then they're really concerned. Find your best version and try to become a beacon of love and guidance if you aren't one already. I know it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. This reality seems to be prepared for something else. I'm trying to understand it myself. I'm just on my early stages here, and I'm just trying to share this message, and I hope it resonates with you. So thank you very much. Please share this content. You are not going to have a problem with me threatening you if you do. Please share it without even asking for permission. If you have any public comments or suggestions, use the comment sections on the platform you are watching. If you have a private comment, you can email me at changesnear@protonmail.com. And as I always, I suggest the guys from Waking the Future. They had an episode out today. They're just really just incredible. I mean, they're They are the only ones I'm watching every episode, and I sometimes even watch them 2 times. Okay, so link to them on the show details, and I'm also going to include the links to the 3 videos I used, and I'm also going to include, because on one video I used 2 clips, okay, that's why there were 4 total, and I'm also going to include the link to richplanet.net, which is pretty obvious, it's richplanet.net. So if you're interested in the work of Richard D. Hall and Andrew Johnson, you can find them there. They have tens of videos, very interesting stuff. I don't have any resonates with me 100%. All right, have a very, very, very nice day, and thank you for watching. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net to schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this, and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.